So, it's 1st of August. We are 9 days removed from the drop of Battles of Legend Armageddon and the, I'm going to say, shit show that was my box pull that I did earlier in the week. Didn't put that up on YouTube because I basically pulled garbage. I had a box war with Phoenix, basically, and he pulled Numeron Calling and won because he pulled Numeron Calling. It was literally how bad our boxes were. But that's out. Numeron Zexal as an archetype is now live. My email to the people who have YGO Scope running, they have added Rocket Dragon Link into, they're calling it Rocket Guard Dragon, not Rocket Dragon Link, into their algorithms, and they've also added Numeron Zexal as a catch archetype. So for when they do their little data mine into Dueling Book, anyone who's playing things like the Numeron Gates, Numeron Network, Calling, or Zexal, they get thrown in under Numeron Zexal as part of their archetype. So with that, let's go and have a look at this page. Now you're going to see almost immediately, on the right hand side anyway, that there's been a massive shake up when it comes to probably the lower half, so like 9th and onwards, of decks appearing with completely new engines in them. And this is kind of standard when you have an engine that is really quite hyped with a massive boss monster or really good recursion. In this case, it's the monster that is Zexal. So just going from the top, we can get through the first like 5 or 6 pretty quickly. Dinosaurs went from first last week with a 59% win rate, and they're now in third with a 58% win rate because it's lost its position to Adamancipator and Eldlik. Adamancipator didn't move, win rate is the same, most played, that's the same. Salamangreat went from third to fourth and it's dropped down to a 54% win rate. Again, I know Access Code Talker is a really good card, but I find that without Mirage Stalio, the deck needs to innovate and find other ways to do spot removal. Also, one Gazelle kind of hurts. I'm seeing a lot of builds with Salamangreat playing Pot of Desires. You banish Gazelle, your best play is out the window. It's kind of iffy. I think the deck could probably come back to 3 Gazelle if they really want to make that deck like actually competitive. Right now, it's simply there because people, I think, just have the deck and want to play it. Eldlik, as a pure form, shot to the top of the list as the most played deck. It's got a 61% win rate from 62. Statistically insignificant. It's always been sitting in that low 60%. It's just a consistent deck. And it's a consistent control deck as well. So, nothing to go there. Altergeist stayed in 5th, but jumped 4 percentage points with its win rate, went to 62%. Altergeist with 3 Fakers should always be respected. Imperm, Faker, grab Silquitous, grab 2 points of interaction before they even get their first turn. It should always be respected for that fact. Sky Striker, nothing's changed, 51% win rate, still in 6th. Madolche dropped 1 position and dropped a 57% win rate from 63. I think this is a flash in the pan. We'll probably see Madolche drop off the list, especially now because Zexal is a thing. This deck runs very few utility cards and can't really do anything if it's locked out of activating effects, period. Whereas some other cards can at least just shed a few cards and pass. Things like, you know, Eldlik and Altergeist and even in some respect, you know, Sky Striker. Orcust has dropped 6 positions, now 14th from 8th, and it's dropped down to 49% win rate. Again, harp horror problem, don't have to go much further than that. Subterra is a pure form without Numeron Zexal, that's down here, has shot up to 7th position from 9th, this continuous climb, with a 58% win rate. I've always said that Subterra is a decent deck. This could actually be a case of people are running a small Numeron package and it hasn't been caught by the system, but as far from what I've seen, there is actually a divide in the Subterra community as to whether or not you play Numeron Zexal in your build or just play pure Guru Control and just flood it with utility cards. So that's why there is a kind of a split between the two decks. Invoke still in 10th, still under 50% win rate, it's non-contender. Eldlik Synchron has dropped down to 18th position as the most played deck for some reason, with a 73% win rate for some reason. It's still the best deck of the format. I don't understand why people aren't playing it, but apparently people are just bored with the deck. Zodiac dropped to 50% win rate. It's dropped from 12th to 16th as the most played deck. I think people have started to realize that once you've gotten out to Megaclops, the deck kind of falls on its butt. Burning Abyss, not even going to talk about it, it's dropped to 17th. Heroes have climbed to 11th, but they still have only a 48% win rate. Again, a single hand trap can stop heroes. Sometimes it takes 2. Droll and Lotbird usually stops it. Ash Blossom on Hero Lives is like the worst thing ever. Effect and Imperm are being main decked by people, so hitting that on Stratos can just stop the deck as well. Cyber Dragon has dropped to 20th. It's got a 49% win rate. You cannot afford in this meta now to go second. It just can't be done. Even Cyber Dragon, even Dinos right now are finding ways to just go first, and Cyber Dragon just doesn't have that ability. Cybernetic Overflow is a good trap card, I get it, but when you go first, half of your plays no longer work. So take that as you will. Mermails are completely dropped off the radar. They're now on 25th from 16th with a 56% win rate. Unsure as to why that's happened. Invoke Shadows dropped down to 24th from 17th. Invoke Mech Knights completely dropped off down to 21st, even though it's still got a 61% win rate. Keep that in mind. Generators went up to 13th with a 53% win rate. No idea why. Mind Burn went to 15th with a 52% win rate. This deck will always exist in a format so long as Mystic Mine is at 3. That's why it's always a good idea to at least keep 2 Cosmic Cyclones, if possible, in your main deck, or at least side back row removal. Don't be that guy that just loses because you have no out to Mystic Mine and spell or trap form. Thunder Dragon dropped down to 26th. Shadow Pure got to 19th from 22nd. Eldritch Invoke dropped to 32nd, even though it's still got a pretty decent win rate. And they were all in the bottom 20. Now, here's your new decks. Numeron Zexal as a pure form is in 9th with a 53% win rate. So this is just Zexal Turbo backing it up with back row. I've seen some people use forms of just going Numeron Zexal OTKing with the gates. So when the Zexal gets moved, you just spawn out the 4 gates, attack, be ignorant, and then make a second Zexal and back it up with back row. Some people I've seen have been backing it up with burn cards, using things just like not Chain Strike. I can't remember what that. Just Chain Burn with Zexal, basically. There's different forms of this, but it's basically relying on Zexal to stall out turns and the gates to OTK the opponent. Eldritch Numeron Zexal is kind of doing the same thing because they can get away with not having monsters on board. I've seen some builds not use wall and just go 3 network, 2 calling, because of the activation condition of calling means that you have to have no monsters on board, and Eldritch can get around having no monsters on board for the activation of calling. Put Zexal down and then bring out Golden Lord during your opponent's turn using the trap card Sanguine. And then you've got Numeron Zexal Subterra, the deck that I'm currently sitting on. This is the divide. Now the reason this isn't placing all that well, it's down in 22nd at the moment, is because there is a strict conflict between Subterra and Zexal, Numeron Zexal, the Numeron network and calling play past the first turn. You really don't want to be caught as a Subterra player with no Guru on board. But if you get to the next turn and Guru's on board and you draw network, it's unplayable. You really want to be seeing it in your opening hand. And I've had that issue numerous times so far where I've drawn into like Numeron Wall, had to use it for its Battle Fader effect, but still can't use it to put network on the table because I control cards other than Numeron Wall, usually a back row card or a set Final Battle. And that's been the divide right now. It has an amazing turn 1 play if it sees network and Hidden City at the same time, or ways to both. However, if it's only seeing Numeron or it's only seeing Subterra and then draws into the other engine late, if you only see Numeron, you stall for turns with Zexal on board and hope that back row gets you through and then you draw into Hidden City. If you only see Guru control and then draw into Numeron late, it's basically a dead engine. And that's been the issue that I've been trying to balance. But that's currently sitting in 22nd with a 56% win rate. Don't sleep on it though, because if they open a way to Numeron Network and as well as a way to Hidden City, it's Zexal with Guru, with Fiendus, and set 3 pass. Generally speaking, that's a game-winning hand no matter what the hell you got. I don't care about your Imperm or your Forbidden Droplets. I have ways to play around it. So that's your meta breakdown, your analysis at the moment for the 1st of August. We do have the Megatons on the horizon, but they're still a couple weeks away, and that will bring in Dragoon. And we have Rise of the Duelist being actually viable for play. I believe that comes out next Thursday, and that has the Dragma archetype. So we have a lot of stuff coming up between now and the end of August. And then we have a ban list, supposedly, on the 1st of September. Do not be surprised if it's just a further release list. What to expect if you're playing on Dueling Book right now is the obvious thing, still the top 5 decks of the room. Dinosaur, Adamant Spider, Salamangreat, Eldritch, and Altergeist. That hasn't changed, and I don't think will change. I think a lot of people are still going to stick with those decks, but do have in your side deck 5 cards that stop or out Zexal, the Numeron combo. As I've said in my previous video covering Zexal, Ghost Ogre is a really fantastic hand trap right now. You can hand trap the network when it sends calling and it will just stop it from resolving. And then if you don't see the Zexal play, just Ghost Ogering Needle Fiber. If they don't have a second copy, it makes it really hard for them to get into Link Cross. It's really hard to get into Rorodon. You basically can stop a combo midway with that, and it stops any kind of field spell reliant rogue deck as well. There's applications for Ghost Ogre for link based strategies as well. Other than that, you've got things like Flying Sea and Dimension Shifter, but just make sure if you're running Dimension Shifter, your deck can play under it as well. But Ghost Ogre is the main one. If you're going first against the Numeron combo, back row remove the network and the combo just comes to a standstill. That's all you have to worry about. But that's your analysis for 1st of August 2020. Again, as I said, we have Dragoon coming in Mega Tins in a couple weeks. Rise of the Duelist with Dragma is ready for play next Thursday. And then we have a ban list on the 1st of September or sometime after that. Lots going on, lots to talk about. We'll have some ban list discussions in the following weeks. I don't think Konami is going to be hitting anything. I'll see you all next week. Thank you very much.